like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg. Democrats are not going to win if we have a nominee who has a history of hiding his tax returns, of harassing women, and of supporting racist policies like redlining and stop and frisk. Look, I'll support whoever the Democratic nominee is, but understand this. Democrats take a huge risk if we just substitute one arrogant billionaire for another. This country has worked for the rich for a long time and left everyone else in the dirt. When the mayor says that he apologized, listen very closely to the apology. The language he used is about stop and frisk. It's about how it turned out. Now, this isn't about how it turned out. This is about what it was designed to do to begin with. It targeted communities of color. It targeted black and brown men from the beginning. And if you want to issue a real apology, then the apology has to start with the intent of the plan as it was put together and the willful ignorance day by day by day of admitting what was happening, even as people protested in your own street, shutting out the sounds of people telling you how your own policy was breaking their lives. You need a different apology.
Senator,
here,
thank you.
Goddamn, Elizabeth Warren came out swinging tonight. Just swinging. And that was that first clip, that was the first time she spoke. That's how intense she was. And it's just the beginning. She ended him again on the non-disclosure agreements he had women sign about sexual harassment misconduct.
He has gotten some number of women, dozens, who knows, to sign non-disclosure agreements, both for sexual harassment and for gender discrimination in the workplace. So, Mr. Mayor, are you willing to release all of those women from those non-disclosure agreements so we can hear their side of the story?
We have a very few non-disclosure agreements.
How many is
Let me
that?
finish.
How many is that?
None of them accuse me of doing anything other than maybe they didn't like the joke I told. And let me put, there's agreements between two parties that wanted to keep it quiet, and that's up to them. They signed those agreements, and we'll live with it.
So wait, when you say it is up to, I just want to be clear. Some is how many? And when you say they signed them and they wanted them, if they wish now to speak out and tell their side of the story about what it is they allege, that's now okay with you? You're releasing them on television tonight?
Senator? No.
Is that right?
Senator, the company and somebody else, in this case, a man or a woman, or could be more than that, they decided when they made an agreement that they wanted to keep it quiet for everybody's interest. They signed the agreements, and that's what we're going to live with.
I'm sorry.
So in this debate, even Biden is going after Bloomberg's record. I mean, again, if Biden was the nominee against Bloomberg, I'd knock on, or if it was just Biden and Bloomberg, I'd knock on doors for Biden. That's how scary Mike Bloomberg is. And Elizabeth Warren has really stepped up. I thought she would keep doing this unity BS, but this is the Warren we knew and loved. You know, this is who she is when she's not listening to her consultants. This is the Warren who got to the top of the polls and was a front runner for a long, long time. It's too late now, but she seemed to have no F's to give it at this point. I know I can't really curse. I would like to, but don't want to get demonetized. This is the Warren who could have won the Democratic nomination if she kept running like this. I mean, ironically, and in a good way, it's allowed for Bernie Sanders to rise to the top. So if she didn't let those Obama advisors come into her campaign and she didn't listen to those idiot establishment types, she could have had it. She could have had it. And tonight is just proving that. But no matter her mistakes, honestly, she performed a public service tonight, and she's made a lot of mistakes recently in this election cycle, but she'll go down as a hero because of her absolute dismantlement, not dismemberment, dismantlement of Michael Bloomberg tonight, who's the greatest threat to American democracy in a long time. Because It would be a right-wing takeover of the left party when we have a wannabe fascist in office. Trump by himself is not the greatest threat. He's close, but the greatest threat is if there's no left-wing opposition. And that's what Bloomberg is trying to solidify with his candidacy and buying the presidency. Thank you, Elizabeth Warren.